Hey, welcome back to this week's edition of Don't Forget to Bless the Food. I was away, I wasn't feeling good, but I'm back. We're going Italian style today with a couple of different stuffed shells. We're going to do a spinach and ricotta stuffed shell and just a 3 cheese stuffed shell. And we're going to layer that over top of some grilled zucchini straight out of my dad's garden. So the first thing we got to do is go over to the stove and start wilting some spinach to go into our second stuffed shell dish. So right over here. I have my grill heated up here, or my saute pan. I have some olive oil in there. It's on a low heat, and I'm just going to throw in a couple cups of fresh spinach. I just broke it into small pieces so it just wilts down. We're not going to cook this down to mush. We're just going to wilt it down. And of course, you all know I don't cook hardly anything without throwing some garlic in. So I'm going to put a couple tablespoons of garlic in here. Some of that nice garlic juice sitting in. Give this a little stir. And we're going to let it do its thing. So we're going to come back over here and start our cheeses. So in my bowl here, I have 4 pounds of fresh ricotta cheese that I've allowed to drain. If you don't drain it, it's going to be really watery. So there's 4 pounds. This is going to make a lot of shells. We have a lot of people to feed, so lots of it. So 4 pounds in here. Then I have 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. I bought the kind that was already shredded, just for, time's sake. We're going to add this right in here. And to that, I have 2 cups of fresh Parmesan cheese. If you want to buy the fresh cheese in the block and shred it up, that's good. Just don't get the stuff in the can because it's been processed. Go to your deli section and get what they have in the little bag with the tie. It's fresher, has a better taste. So we have 2 cups of fresh Parmesan right in. Give this a little stir. You all know how I love cheese, and I can't just do one cheese. I have to do several cheeses. And if there was a way that I could put goat cheese in this and make it taste good, I would have done that because you know how I love my goat cheese. That might be another show, goat cheese stuffed shells. That sounds kind of good. Stuff them with some asparagus or something. Okay, so I have that tumbled around, folded in, and I'm going to add an egg. I've beaten it, so it's already whipped up. And all this is going to do is act as your glue, your binder. You always need something to hold everything together, especially when you're working with cheeses because they tend to separate. So let me just give that a little stir. Just fold it all in nice. Now, I'm not Italian, not even a little teeny bit. I don't even think there's anybody in my entire family that's Italian. So I haven't had much Italian influence cooking other than what I learned in school. So if you see that I'm doing something that your Italian grandma didn't do, don't hate me. So now the only seasoning I'm going to add to my cheese is some oregano. And I like to add it so that I can see it. So that's about 2 tablespoons of oregano. And the reason why I'm not adding any more seasoning to this is because we have a fresh marinara sauce on the stove, and it's got your garlic, your basil, fresh basil out of my garden. And that's really where all the flavor is going to come from as far as seasonings go. Okay, so this is combined nicely. And what I'm going to do now is separate this into another bowl because I'm going to add the spinach to the same mixture that I have. So I'm just going to separate it. Now, of course, you don't have to use 4 pounds. You can half this by 2 pounds if it's just for a normal dinner at home with your husband and your, 2 kids. But dinner around here, don't forget to bless the food, is it? It's not a normal family dinner. We have a crew out here that's hungry and they wait all week to get this, so we got to make a lot. So we're going to go back over to the stove and check on our spinach and see if it's ready to go in. Okay, and it's exactly the way that I want it. It's still leafy. I'm going to turn it off. It's just cooked down slightly, and I'm going to add this right into this mixture. As you can see, it's still really leafy. It's not cooked down to mush. Let me turn it this way so you can see how pretty it is. And turn this all into the Get all that good juice that's in there, olive oil and garlic. Set that out of my way. You can do this with basil too. If you really love basil like I do, basil, however you want to say it, you can do this with that too. Just don't add the basil to your sauce, and you know, you have all the same flavors. So just give this a little toss. Okay. So now that I have that incorporated, I want to tell you, a little bit more of what we're going to do. Now with this mixture, after we fill our shells, and we'll fill these and we'll bake them together. I'm going to saute some baby portobellos, and then we're going to top these, the one without the spinach, we're going to top them with all the baby bellas sauteed. And we're going to put it on top of some grilled zucchini that's going to be like nothing you ever ate before. Well, nothing they ever ate before. Okay, so let me set these aside, and I'm going to bring in my shells. Now, if you're real ambitious and you know how to make homemade pasta, go ahead, be my guest, make your shells. I'm not, like I said, I'm not Italian, so no one ever taught me how to do this, so you know what? I think it's the third aisle in the grocery store. It has all this nice stuff that comes in the box. Use it. So we just have our pre-cooked shells, and I cooked them al dente, and all that means is just cooked. Still a little firm, it's not mushy. And we're going to just fill a couple just so you can see how we do that. And of course, also I reserved half a cup of mozzarella to top. And fill these full. Nothing is worse than when you order something stuffed with cheese and there's no cheese in it, especially for me, because I'll get mad. I will send something back real quick. But fill them up nice. Okay, so I'm just going to fill a few of these so that you get the idea. I think I forgot to mention that when I'm done doing this, I'm going to make homemade garlic bread. My girlfriend asked me, what do you put on your garlic bread? Garlic. And lots of it. Okay, so she's going to smack me afterwards. Okay, so this is the spinach one. Let's fill them up, open them up, fill it pretty full. And look how pretty that looks with the green and the cheese. Okay, we're going to put this one down this end because I'm going to put a little different topping on that. Just fill a couple so you get the idea. Okay, so I'm going to, now that you have the idea of how to do that, I'm going to take a little break. When we come back, we'll have these all filled, and we'll get them in the oven, and we'll start some of the other things that we have ready for you. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is saute those baby bellas. Normally I would put the baby bellas in my marinara sauce, spaghetti sauce, whatever you want to call it, tomato sauce. But in this case, I want to saute it because I've already done my sauce ahead of time, because we know that it takes a couple days to make a really good tomato sauce. And I wanted to have the opportunity to show you the bellas on top instead of in the sauce, because you just wouldn't have seen them. So we're going to go ahead and saute these bellas. And I'm saying bella, it's a portobello, baby bella. And we're going to just saute these down, and these are going to go right over top of our cooked stuffed shells. So what I'm going to do is grab a little bit of garlic, because you know, without garlic, you're not cooking. Well, you're not cooking Italian without garlic. Let's put about a tablespoon of garlic and some of that juice right on in there. And then I'm just going to grab a little of Italian seasoning and give a little sprinkle, whatever brand you like. And while I'm talking about that Italian seasoning, I'm going to be offering my own Italian seasoning. As I'm speaking, I have some Italian herbs at home drying in the dryer. So I'm going to put together, you know, whatever seasoning you need for your lasagna, so you take all the guesswork out of it. I'm going to put that together for you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let these saute down. They're going to take a few minutes. And after the commercial break, we'll put everything in the oven, and then we'll go over to our grilled zucchini. So we'll be back after this commercial.
My name is Dexter Brandt, and you're watching CTF TV Live.
You're fine, whatever's there. Okay, so I had my little kitchen fairies come on in, and we've filled all our shells, and we're going to go right over to the stove and put our sauce on and get these right down into the oven. Okay. So yesterday I started some sauce. So everybody knows a good sauce has to cook. If you don't cook your sauce long enough, it's not going to taste very good. So I'm just going to lightly sauce these. I don't want a whole lot of sauce in here because I'm going to top them with sauce when I serve them. But I do want enough to keep them from burning, and enough that the al dente shells are going to soak up some more sauce and then finish cooking the rest of the way. Okay, and I just want to make sure the bottom of the pan is coated. Then just a little trick, I'm just going to shake it a little bit. And then you know me, and you all know me, I have another half a cup of mozzarella, and I'm just going to toss this all over the top. Mostly on these spinach ones, because the ricotta ones are going to get those sauteed mushrooms. So we're going to go straight in the oven with these. My oven is set at 375 degrees. And these are going to cook for about 20 minutes just to get everything nice and bubbly, because everything's already cooked. Okay, so that's on and everything's ready. So now I'm going to just move right on over here and we're going to start grilling our zucchini. On a medium heat, I have some olive oil in here. You know how I love olive oil. The better quality, the better flavor, the more fruity. And here I have a fresh zucchini, and this, if you don't know what a zucchini is, this is a fresh zucchini right out of my dad's garden. And I've sliced it up pretty thin, maybe 1/4 of an inch. If you make it any bigger than that, it's going to take longer to cook. So right here on my board, I'm just going to salt and pepper them. I should have opened this earlier, but then you can see I actually do it. It's a little much pepper. And I always talk about our tools. We need to have the right tools when we're cooking. This is a really good board. And if you have a really good board, you can do just about anything on it. And you can just turn them over. I recommend a wooden board, not a plastic board. But if you are going to get a wooden board, make sure you have one for everything that you're going to use. Like I wouldn't put my chicken on this now. I'd only put my veggies. Okay, so we're going to lay these in here. Just rub them into that olive oil. This is going to be delicious. And this is what we're going to serve those ricotta stuffed shells right on top of. Instead of a meat, our meat, you know, our palate craves a meat. So this is going to act as our protein or our meat portion. So it's all vegetarian. There's no meat today in anything that we're cooking. Okay. So I'll get them on there. And again, I'm going to drizzle that with some more olive oil. Nice little sizzle going on. And we're just going to let them grill. I'll turn this way so you can get in here to this pan. Now I'm going to heat my pan up back here and put the rest of this olive oil in, because this is going to be our garlic bread. So here I have an entire stick of butter. You know I love cheese, you know I love butter. So we're going to put an entire stick of butter in here. Get that going. Loosen it up a bit. This is garlic bread like you... When you go into a restaurant and you order garlic bread and you get that bread that has garlic powder on it, that's garlic powder bread. It's not garlic bread. This is going to be garlic bread. Lots of garlic, lots of Italian herbs. And I'm going to just sprinkle some Italian herbs in here, probably about a tablespoon, maybe 2 tablespoons, and get that going. And then I have about 1/4 cup of garlic. Let's just get right in there and get all that in there. Let's get this melted. Okay, now while this melts down, I'm going to go over here and check on our sauteed mushrooms and give them a little stir. Just to make sure they're cooking up the way we want them. And they are. They actually, these look wonderful. These are just about done. Smell-o-vision, folks. We have got to invent smell-o-vision or scratch and sniff TV screens, because you're totally missing the aroma that's floating around in here. Okay, we're going to turn this down to warm. Give them, see that nice caramelization on there? They're just beautiful and such meaty flavor. Okay, so I'm going to let these just sit on warm until we're all done. And I'm going to go back over here and check on our zucchini. Check on the other side. These look nice. Just going to give them a little flip. Don't worry about my hands. Again, asbestos hands was my nickname when I catered. Just give them a, I better be proper so nobody at home gets burnt. Give them a little flip. You can do this right on your barbecue grill. Actually, they taste really nice because they get that nice barbecue flavor. Just Just give them a little flip. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these in here. When you see me rub them around, it's just because the olive oil tends to puddle underneath. We want to get them all oiled. Okay. So now I'm going to bring my tray of bread into the picture here. This is just a baguette of French bread. I like French bread because it has a really hard crust. And I bought this yesterday and I let it set. That way it's a little stale, you should say, or dry. And that way it's going to absorb all of this yummy stuff a little bit better. And it's already going to have an extra little crunch to it. So I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to just start puddling this on. And I'm going to spoon it on. Usually I would do this with a pastry brush, but I forgot to bring one. So we're just going to do it this way. Just make sure you really get it on each one. Really soak it in. And if you wanted to butter the bread first, just for that extra bit of butter, you can do that too. You know I would love that as much as I love butter. Right while I'm doing this, I wanted to give a little shout out to my buddy down in Florida. One of our viewers, Joey, young boy, he's been fighting some illnesses lately, and I called my cousin a couple days ago and she told me that she called to check on Joey and she could hear my show playing in the background. How great is that? So Joey, I just want to let you know that everybody here at CTF is praying for you. We really are praying that the doctors figure out what it is that's wrong and that you'll be healed. So I just, really want to let you know we are praying for you. And we all appreciate you tuning in. Okay. This looks so yummy. Okay. So we're almost done with this. Okay, so now that each one has some on it, I'm just going to go ahead and drizzle the rest of this butter in. How yummy. And just splash this around. Make sure it all gets in there. Get me something a little flatter here. So I should turn it this way. I don't want to waste any of this that's in here. Just get it all on there. Okay. So with this done, if you want to just take them, rub them around and soak up all that yumminess that's on the plate. Yumminess. That's an Amy-ism for sure. Turn them over. Soak all of that up. Get some extra on there. Okay, now I'm going to just sprinkle it with a little extra Italian seasoning. I'm going to pop this right into the oven. It's going to go right into the oven that our shells are in. And I want to pull them out and check on them. I don't usually give anybody any commercials, but DuPont sent us the envelope, so I'm going to say thank you to DuPont. That looks delightful. Okay. All right, so I'm going to check on these. And these look very good. If you wanted to add some red onion in here, oh, that looks great. That would work well too. Give this a little flip. Okay, so while they're finishing up, the last little thing I want to do is get a scoop of my marinara sauce and put it over top of these mushrooms over here. And that's just going to help me serve them better. You could put this on top of something without any other sauce. This is so yummy. Or how good would that be on top of a cheesesteak? What? Maybe some hot sauce. Okay, so we're all ready. Everything's cooking. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to put it all together. So I'll see you back here in a few minutes. Okay, so now we're going to go pull everything out of the oven and start plating it up so I can feed my hungry crew over here who's got their bibs and they're all soaking wet, so it's time to feed these guys. So let's get we're going to get our shells out of the oven first with our lovely DuPont Oven Glove. We're going to leave that bread in there for just a minute to let it cook a little bit. I'm going to let that rest a second. And here's our beautiful zucchini. Just going to plate this up with a couple of the zucchini underneath. They don't they don't want to come out of the pan because they know what's coming to them. See, if I were at home, I'd just use my fingers, but save his life. Okay, and this is our ricotta. Look at that cheese. That's why I love a lot of cheese. Plate them up by two by two. Okay, so let's go over here to these mushrooms. Now, is that like yummy, wrapped up in some good? And we're just going to top that right on top. Grab a little extra marinara. And just our spinach ones, we're just going to do them alone because they can stand on their own with that extra bit of spinach in there. Just allows them to stand on their own. So that's our spinach. But you know, let's serve a little of those mushrooms on the side. I don't want to put them on top. Let's put a few of those on the side just for plate's sake. Okay, now I'm going to grab that garlic bread out of the oven. That looks amazing. I'm just with my fingers. I'm going to just go ahead and put them on the plate. Let's turn this around so you can see that scripture on there. And let's do two. We'll set this over here. Okay, so that's our show this week. We have our 3 cheese stuffed shells. over top of our grilled zucchini with our homemade garlic bread. And this is our spinach and 3 cheese stuffed shells with our sauteed mushrooms and homemade garlic bread. I'm going to ask all my viewers, I know you're there, I know you're talking to me right now, I want you to stay tuned and watch Miracle Monday, get those prayer requests in. I hope you will try our recipes. Always set a place for Jesus. Don't forget to bless the food. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.